Welcome everyone, my name is Mark and this is my channel, Big Stick Aviation. In this lesson from FS Academy, you will be learning a left-hand traffic pattern. You will learn the crosswind leg, the downwind leg, the base leg, and the final leg. We also will be doing a touch and go and a low altitude approach. So if you're ready, let's get started.
For Lesson 3, we start with a new aircraft and a new location, the Robin DR400 and Tauranga in New Zealand. We're not going to land just yet, so maintain circuit altitude of 1,000 feet and fly overhead the runway, tracking the centre line. The circuit pattern is the way VFR flights are organised when circling an airfield. A series of left-hand 90-degree turns takes us around the circuit in a rectangle shape. The basic circuit is the same everywhere for consistency, although terrain or airspace limitations may require a right-hand circuit to be made, which will be noted on the charts. There are 4 sides to the rectangle which are named. If we were landing now, this would be the final leg. Once beyond the far end of the runway, we'll make a left turn onto the crosswind leg. Another 90-degree left turn would then take us onto the downwind leg, where we fly parallel to the runway at the circuit altitude of 1,000 feet above the airfield elevation. Once we reach the end of that downwind leg, seen once the landing threshold appears at a 45-degree angle behind you, we make a third left turn onto the base leg and start to descend and decelerate. Judging visually, we then make our final turn onto the final leg, where we're lined up to land. Make a left turn now onto the crosswind leg.
Left wing onto the crosswind leg, roger that.
For the moment, keep your speed at 110. Roll out on a heading of 160 to fly the crosswind leg. Now make another left turn onto downwind.
Left onto downwind.
Roll out on heading 070 to parallel the runway. We'll do our downwind checks. Brakes are pressured but released, undercarriage is fixed, mixture full rich, fuel on and sufficient, indications are in the green, and security seatbelts are fastened, doors are closed. Foxtrot Sierra Alpha, downwind for touch and go.
Foxtrot Sierra Alpha number 1, report final.
Wilco, Foxtrot Sierra Alpha. Remember the circuit altitude is 1,000 feet. Now make another left turn, power back and start a gentle descent. Decelerate to 80 knots.
Alright, left hand turn base. turning down to 80 knots.
Now we're in the white airspeed band. Extend the first stage of flaps, set power and trim for 80 knots.
Alright, first stage flaps, set for 80 knots.
Now turn left and align yourself on the runway centre line. Take full flaps and speed 60 knots.
Turning left on the
Foxtrot
final.
Sierra Alpha turning final.
Foxtrot Sierra Alpha cleared touch and go runway 25, wind 260 at 8.
Clear touch and go runway 25, Foxtrot Sierra Alpha. Select an aiming point and lock it into place, not allowing it to move up or down in the windscreen. Set power and trim for 60 knots. After touchdown, stay on the centre line, set takeoff flaps and full power for a touch and go. Aim for a speed of 60 knots. Now look to the far end of the runway, power to idle, set the flare attitude, touching down with the main wheels. Maintain the centre line and set takeoff flaps.
Setting takeoff
Now apply
flaps.
full power with some right rudder for the engine torque. Now raise the nose to the takeoff attitude. Keep full power and the climbing attitude. Keep the right rudder in whilst climbing on the runway heading. Passing 300 feet above airfield level, so retract the flaps.
Retracting flaps.
Once above 500 feet, turn left onto the crosswind leg, climbing to 1,000 feet. There's 500 feet above airfield level, so make your left turn onto crosswind. Roll out heading 160 and climb back up to the circuit altitude of 1,000 feet. Level off at 1,000 feet and start your left turn onto downwind. Accelerate to about 90 knots.
Alright, left onto downwind.
Downwind checks, brakes pressured and released, undercarriage fixed, mixture full rich, fuel on and sufficient, engines in the green and secure. Foxtrot Sierra Alpha downwind 25 for low approach and overshoot.
Foxtrot Sierra Alpha Roger, you're number 1, cleared low approach and overshoot runway 25.
Cleared low approach and overshoot runway 25, next circuit request low level, Foxtrot Sierra Alpha.
Foxtrot Sierra Alpha Roger, next circuit low level approved.
Circuit altitude is 1,000 feet. Make the left base turn here, power back to 80 knots and start a descent. We're going to do a missed approach this time.
Left onto the base leg.
Speeds in the white band, first stage of flaps and power for 80 knots.
First stage flaps. Get a little steep.
Make the final turn, take landing flaps, power for 60 knots.
Power for 60 knots. That's too much of a bank angle for this speed.
Keep the aiming point locked in the windscreen and I'll say when to initiate a go around. Go around, full power and set the climb attitude. Hold the climb attitude and set takeoff flaps.
So takeoff flaps.
Use right rudder to keep straight and climb to just 500 feet. We'll make a low level circuit this time, still with left hand turns. Keep the flaps set as they are. Maintain 500 feet and make a left turn to crosswind. We'll make a low level circuit which will be tighter than before.
Left hand to crosswind.
make another left turn onto our tighter downwind leg. Keep a speed of about 80 knots.
Left on the downwind, trying to keep 80 knots. Trying to maintain 500
Bank
feet.
angle.
Bank angle.
Downwind checks. Brakes pressured and released. Undercarriage fixed. Mixture full rich. Fuel on and sufficient. Engines in the green. And secure with seatbelts fastened. Foxtrot Sierra Alpha, low level downwind, runway 25 for full stop.
Foxtrot Sierra Alpha cleared to land runway 25, wind 260 at 7 knots.
Cleared land runway 25, Foxtrot Sierra Alpha. Even though we're lower and closer in, we keep the same references, so we'll again make our turn when the runway is 45 degrees behind us. As we're closer to the runway, we'll make a continuous base turn onto final, keeping our altitude until halfway around the base turn.
God, every time I get here, this plane goes crazy.
That's about the right spot, so make a continuous left turn, holding 500 feet initially, speed 80 knots. Keep the turn going, take full flaps and power for 60 knots. We're going to land off of this approach. Power off, flare attitude.
Whoa, that was a rough landing. I hit my stall warning, I was just a little too
Keep
high.
the centre line and allow the speed to come back on its own without braking. The exit is a little way further down the runway.
Well, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and take the flaps out. Don't need the flaps anymore since we're coming to a final.
Take the runway exit coming up on the right.
We'll take this right. Kind of got off the center line a bit. I was going a little fast.
Great, that's your first introduction to circuits complete.
Well, hey, that's the end of this lesson. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe. and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much.